You probably had people standing here in the evening holding torches to light up the path. It would have been a crazy scene to see. And now it's all abandoned. I mean, not now, it's not recently abandoned. It's been abandoned since 1327. So actually, Tughlaq died in 1325, but his son, his name was Muhammad Tughlaq, he actually reigned for a while here, but then he moved on to create his own city or fort. I don't exactly know where, but yeah, there are rumors that Muhammad had something to do with the death of Tughlaq because he was the eldest son and he would be the king after his father. But yeah, there's no way to confirm or deny any of that. We can only speculate. Back at the well. Let's keep going. So there you can see the western part. That's where we're headed. I think that has one of the highest points. And the highest point is the citadel of any ancient city. So it could be either there or there. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll check it out regardless. Here people try to burn some of the plants because they got piled up. I think they're gonna burn these too. So they just bring overgrowth and burn it, which is very smart considering Delhi is one of the least polluted cities in the world, if you catch my drift. So, all right. Okay, so we have, I don't know what these are, but I guess these could be houses or, I mean, look at this wall, how thick that is. It's almost 6 feet. And they don't, even walls that thick don't really survive for very long. I mean, I guess it did for a while. It's been 800 years. I need to keep that in mind too. What else you want? Most of it is still here. It's just the bottom part that's left. Most of the top has been destroyed. You have something over there. Oh yeah, that's I think that was like the auditorium, or I'll tell you more when we get there, but that part was like the section where basically the entertainment section where they would have whatever their entertainment was back then, whether it's girls or plays or theater, jugglers, who knows? A vlogger? No, not vloggers. Yeah, interesting development. When this whole thing is supposed to be one wall, it's like a line of defense against the enemies. Then you have, these walls are completely obliterated. You only have the very foundation left. So, see a lot of that pink cement which stands out, indicating reconstruction. And here we have a recent construction. I guess this is where the security guards and stuff live. So they built like a little house inside for them to be able to stay here and not have to go out and come back every time, because from what I understand, the back of the fort is where you have a little village of people, and they don't really have security much security there, so people can just walk in without tickets and stuff. So for a long time, I've seen people wandering around from the village who didn't really buy any ticket, and there wasn't much that the security guards could do about that. So, all right. So once again, we have, I forgot the names of these, but they're called something. There's like a map, which is hard to read. It doesn't have a "You Are Here" section. Jami Masjid, Mina Bazaar. How are you supposed to know where you are? Huh. Okay, there's the Elephant Gate, and then there's a gate on the right that we probably came from. Okay. I think I understand. Maybe. Alright. Let's go see. I don't know what this was, but once again you have those battle walls through which you can shoot. I don't know if they had guns or arrows or whatever. Some sort of a... Did they have guns in 1320? I'm pretty bad with my gun knowledge, or gun history at least. So you could see a lot of rocks, big rocks that this fort is built over. So basically the fort was built over the walls, at least, were built over high elevation. So wherever the hills went, they covered it with walls, because it gives you an advantage in terms, or in case of an attack. All right. Wow, most of it destroyed completely. So we go check out what's here. I don't know if this was a solid structure or it became one after the collapse. Wonder what those were. All right. Would have been a lot more helpful if they had put up, instead of just a map, they put up signs of what individual buildings were, because then it's kind of hard to remember what it was unless you have a map in hand. This looks like it may have been some sort of a market, maybe, or something like that. Wow, yeah. Has a, probably was some sort of a shop. This is where you keep the lanterns. Yeah. Imagine what it was like 800 years ago. Somebody standing here probably selling whatever. If indeed this was a bazaar. But it does look like there's a lot of different sections that have that vibe, you know. Let's check out what's here. Okay, we have some sort of a gate here. So I think this is also a part of the market. You would come here in the olden times, the people of the Tughlaqabad city would come here and for grocery shopping, basically. Visa or Master. All right, nothing but ruins. Look at that. This is another wall. You can tell by the battlement. More bushes, shrubs. And behind that you can see is the modern, basically the modern village. The modern settlement that kind of took over. Yeah. So this, like I was saying, there's no security here. You can see the wall going over there, but there is a path going down, and there are no gates or security guards here. So people from this village would just come up and hang out at the fort for free, just because they live right here. I mean, I guess you could as well if you just walked in from here, and you don't really get asked for a ticket once you're in. So yeah. Probably should steer clear of that music. You never know. Some low-profile record label's gonna claim, but they can. I mean, I'm not even monetized yet, so. Oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm too old for this shit. What is this? Look at this. Oh man, I'm glad I wore my boots. I think one more shop, or could have been a house of one of the. No, I don't think any advisor or minister would have such a small little shack. May have been a house for some of the people in the market selling stuff, or maybe a storage, something like that. Let's keep going to what I think is the highest point. I mean, no, actually, I think the highest point is out over there and not here. But let's go. All right, here we have the underground market. Wow, it's a lot more cleared out than the last time I was here, which was a few years ago. There was all kinds of shrubs and vegetation inside, and it was kind of hard to get in. But now it looks like they've cleared it all. So wait, this is Mina Bazaar, the 800-year-old market. This is where the people of Tughlaqabad would come in to buy their things, and this is like the main market area. Wow, they really did clean up the whole thing. So you have these little shops, and as you can tell, the walls are like 4.5 feet. And then you have the little sections for lanterns. It is pretty dark. I don't know. I mean, I can't see anything. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's not. It's way too dark for the torch to have any sort of effect. There's another entrance. Wow. I mean, like, just imagine people coming in 800 years ago, walking down, and this place being full of people, and people's trying to sell things. A lot of noise and chatter. You know, people selling clothes and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty long tunnel or underground market. People now, I guess, come in here and do whatever. Look at that. The doors are kind of built like windows, because they have these bottom sections as well. For some reason, that's how the doors were built in the olden times. But yeah, it is a pretty. You probably can't see me at all. Yeah, it is a pretty nice little market section. I think they had a lot more of this, but some of them just collapsed, and yeah, like the wall of the entrance of this little shop collapsed. Some of the shops over here at the entrance seems to be a bit bigger than the ones on the inside. So if your shop was at the entrance, you were a baller. Maybe the first two shops were probably where you get your Gucci and Armani accessories, clothing, bags, whatnot. Look at this. We're once again at one of the walls of this ancient. Wow. All right, so down here you can see water piling up. That's one of the other water reservoirs that would fill up during the monsoon season. It even has water right now, even though it's not the monsoon season. But yeah, you have these on both sides of the entrance. So basically you have water on both sides. It formed like a man-made lake, which is pretty cool. Let's see where this goes. To the top of the wall. Wow. You can see how far this stretches out. You have the wall and this rounded, I think it's called a basil or something like that. Let's go back. So this part was the first line of defense, and the wall over here, I guess, fell off or got destroyed. You can see some of these stones which are left over from the wall. This is where people would attack from, and they would have a bit more leverage on these rounded edges of the fort or the wall. So, and it just keeps going. So it's a long stretch of fort and walls, and even on this market you have to be careful, because this might, I'm not sure how much longer this would hold up. I mean, this would probably collapse very soon, within a few decades, or maybe not, who knows. But yeah, you definitely got to be careful. I don't know if it was like this. It maybe was, because if it's not, then you would constantly need to light up the entire market, even during the day, which would waste oil, because that was how they lit up their cities back then, with oil. So I'm pretty sure it was like this. It was open, so you have patches of light and you're not completely in the dark. Wow. Really, really intriguing. I really wish there was a time machine so I can come back and see what this place was like. Just can't stop thinking about that. Just want to see what it was like in its prime, when it was full of people, full of life. Look at it now. It's probably trading area, or but basically this entire part was kind of like the main section where all the people get together. You have the market, you have other things, probably repair shops. I don't know what else they had back then, but we sure did have a lot of structures built for whatever they needed. I don't know if you can see those two battlements over there. Those ones are pretty flimsy because they didn't use mortar for that. They just put cut out stones on top of each other, stacked them up, and that's why a lot of those have fell apart and only a few remain. You can see a couple over there, one over there, one over there, and then these two. But back in the day, this entire part would be covered with those structures. A lot of it does remain here and there, but most of it was destroyed. Yeah, collapsed and whatnot. But yeah, amazing. Let's go up here to get a better view of the entire market area and the main city. So here we are, 360 views. Wow, the fort walls extend all the way there and all the way over there, which is crazy. But I guess that's what 7 kilometers or 7 square kilometers looks like. It almost seems like it goes as far as the eye can see. And then that over there is what I was talking about, which is the tomb of the ruler Ghiyasuddin, along with his son and his wife. So we'll go check that out later. But wow. Not entirely sure what they had back there, but it does look intriguing, regardless. Because over here, down here, it could be, I think they look like little houses. It could be where some of the people from the market, or who knows what, lived here. But then they had an entire different section for the village, which was, I think, over there, where all the laborers or the people who built things lived, And obviously there was a caste system back then as well. I mean, it still exists in some parts of India, but back then it was more prominent, and people were separated by that. So they probably had different sections where they lived, and then yeah, that's how it was back then. Yeah, probably more houses, stables and stuff for their animals. They had a lot of horses and elephants and cows, cattle, all kinds of animals, donkeys. They used them for construction and as transportation. Yeah, pretty amazing. Once again, I wonder what it was like. I keep imagining the scene here, what it looked like 800 years ago, standing here on these stairs and looking out. Mina Bazaar, the rest of the market. There's another little section. Was it called Basil? Is that it? I forgot. I don't want to look like an idiot by calling it something else. I'm not even sure if basil is the right word, so I'm not going to use it to avoid looking like a complete goof. Yeah, once again, all the walls, or at least the main ones, are slanted, because that was one of the indications of the Tughlaq dynasty, because they always built their forts, or any main structure that they always had the walls slanted, as opposed to having vertical walls. The vertical walls were reserved for inside the city. And now that I'm noticing, the walls that are destroyed the most are the vertical walls. I mean, look at these. All the walls that have been collapsed and destroyed are vertical. But the slanted ones, they still stand strong. So maybe that was a secret. That was a secret to building incredible structures. slanted walls. We still are not doing that, so we've kind of decided that the vertical wall is the best way. What do you think this little room was? I mean, maybe a house? Probably was a house, right? Maybe this is where the upper middle class people lived, because it looks like they have a room. I don't know what the roof situation was. Nothing left of the roof, only the walls, and most of it reconstructed. But this is the original wall with the black mortar and the random stones piled up. That's how they built it back in Mina Bazaar. I still haven't found the underground storage units where they stored food and wheat. But yeah, I want to be able to see them before I realize that they're there, so that I'm not trapped. We don't want another 127 hours out here in Tughlaqabad in the ancient remains. Look at that. Some of the wall is still left from 800 years ago. And they have a little section for, which I imagine was used for lamps and to light up the house. Wow. I mean, it still looks pretty amazing. You can only imagine what it was like back then. This is where people would be just taking a stroll in the evening, you know, walking around talking about whatever. Hey, did you know we got attacked by Mongols last week? No, I had no idea. Yeah, we poured hot oil. They were trying to climb up the walls. Poured hot oils. They went back to Mongolia to be never seen again. I don't think there were. I mean, I don't know if they were ever attacked by the Mongols, but this fort was basically built to defend against the Mongols. Maybe there were. I mean, to be honest, I haven't done a lot of research on this place. So, yeah. Let's just go to a higher point, maybe that one. People are sitting all over the thing. I think this does look like the highest point. Maybe once we get up there, we'll see that the highest point is somewhere else. That would be a bummer. But let's see. What do we have here? Whoa. There's a tree down there. Looks like this may have been one of those underground pathways. I think the entrance may have collapsed. Now all that remains is just the top of it. So let's go up. Look at that. Yeah, that was probably part of the underground channels. And now it's just a trap room or something. Wow, look at that. What a beauty, this place. So this is another one of those places which was called a darbar, which means that's where the king would come and address his subjects. And but this was more like a private area, if indeed this is the place that I'm talking about. It probably wasn't. because now that I'm thinking, if it's a private area, it has to be covered up, because otherwise anyone would hear whatever he has to say. But yeah, maybe this is just a place to chill out. You know, it looks like a nice spot, somewhere to chill out. So even on the inside, you have these battlements. So in case the enemies got inside, the soldiers still have ways of defending or attacking the enemy, rather than just giving up as soon as they enter. Oh man, it's not gonna be easy. Oh man, made it out alive. Look at that.